Hello and welcome. Thank you for volunteering for Pelotonia 19. I'm Val Gonzalez. This is Charles Kendrick. Together we are co-lead volunteers for Rider Check-In. A little bit about ourselves. This is my 9th year overall with Pelotonia, my 6th year as a lead volunteer. Charles here, this is your 7th year overall, I believe?
I believe it's number 7.
And second with me as a co-lead volunteer. We had a great year last year, a little bit of line, but we got through it. This year, we made some exciting changes. We are going to electronic. That's going to help us go faster through the process. Clippers are out of town this year, and there's nothing scheduled at Nationwide Arena. So that's going to help with traffic and parking as well with us. So we're looking forward to another great year. A little bit of what to expect. It is Central Ohio. It is early August. It's going to be hot. Right now we're looking at 85 degrees with about a 20% chance of rain. Please dress accordingly. Lightweight clothes, wear shorts, capris, khakis, just something lightweight. Comfortable shoes. You're going to be on your feet most of the time, so dress comfortably. When you first arrive, please go to the volunteer check-in stand to pick up your t-shirt. Everybody gets a t-shirt and a water bottle, so you can pick those up first. Go ahead and change. We do have some porta pots and other areas you can change into your shirt if you like. Then come meet us at Rider Check-In and we'll get you set up. There's no place for personal items, so please do not bring any personal items that you cannot keep track of. Please leave those at home or lock them up in your car. We're not responsible for any lost items. Also, if you want to bring a small cooler, you'll be able to store it underneath the table for snacks or water. We will have snacks this year, but if you want to bring your own, you can do that as well. Lastly, everybody has to be at least 14 years old to volunteer with us and registered on the Pelotonia website as a volunteer. That does close on Friday. So please make sure you bring, if you're going to bring a child with them, they're registered on the website. Nobody under 14, we can't have them in the tent. So that's about it as far as what to expect. Now we're going to go over the process and the new changes. A lot of exciting new changes. Let's go into electronic. This year, on Friday, every rider is going to receive a text message Friday morning asking them if they want a badge for the weekend. It's basically going to be a QR code that's unique to them. All right, if they respond badge to that text, Pelotonia is going to email or text them that badge they can bring, or QR code they can bring in for us. We'll have iPad minis and iPad Airs at our tables this year. The iPad mini will have that QR code information already preloaded onto it. All you have to do is scan the QR code. It's going to give you 3 pieces of information: the rider name, the rider ID, which is unique to the rider as well, and the box location. Great thing about this year, if they're a high roller, that box location is going to say HR and then the box number, like 1.2. You'll know immediately if they're in the wrong tent. You can direct them to the high roller tent. If it says S in front of that box number, that means they're a survivor. Same thing. Please direct them to the right tent immediately for that. It's going to save us a lot of time not looking for lost credentials this year. If they don't have that QR code, you can check their ID. The iPad Air will be at the table as well. All the binder information will be preloaded into the iPad Air. All you have to do is search by the rider's name. You'll get those 3 pieces of information again. At that point, you can either hand the iPad to your runner, or you can write it down on a Post-it note and hand them the information. Big things you want to put on there is the name, the rider ID, and the box location. Once you do that and give that to the runner, they can run it and get the information. In the main tent, we have 15 tables going each way, total of 30 tables. We'll have about 12 tables in the middle going perpendicular. They'll all have these boxes here on them with a number on the front. So if you have if it says your credentials in box 1.2, you go find box 1. There's dividers in the middle, and then you go for point 2. Then you'll find the information for the credentials and go ahead and pull them. Charles is going to pull one for us. And this is what they look like. There's a lot of different tags on here we're going to go over for you. You can see the QR codes are incorporated now on the bike tag and the luggage tag. Pelotonia is going to track bikes and luggage this year for the riders to try to alleviate some of the lost items. So on the top here we have our wristband. So as the runner, when I'm walking back, all these are perforated. I am actually going to go ahead and fold it along the perforation and start tearing it off for the next volunteer when you get back. The third volunteer at your table is going to be called a wristband volunteer. They're going to go over this packet or this with the rider, let them know what each tag is for. So first off, on the wristband on the top, what you want to do is once you tear it off, there's a piece of paper on the back. It's going to expose some adhesive. So go ahead and pull that off. And you ask the rider, which wrist would you like it on? They can give you either one, it doesn't matter, right or left. You want to go ahead and put that around their wrist. You want to make sure it's tight enough that it's not going to slip off, not too tight that it doesn't cut off their circulation. Good rule of thumb is just to slip a finger underneath the wristband while you put it on, and that should be tight enough for them. I always ask them if it's too loose or if it's too tight, go ahead and get that fixed on for them. This is their passport for the entire weekend. They have to wear this while they're at Pelotonia. It gets them into all their water stops while they're on their route. It gets them into their final destination. It is very durable. They'll be able to shower in it if they're staying overnight on Saturday night. Basically, you're gonna have to cut this off to remove it. Also has a lot of great information on there. It has their staging group, has the route they're riding, has their emergency contact with a phone number, and it also has the 800 number for Pelotonia support. So if they're on the route and they fall, they have an accident, or they feel like they can't go any farther, they want somebody to come pick them up, they can call this 800 number. The next tag on there is going to be their bike tag. It also has a lot of great information. It has their rider ID, has their route information, and it has that QR code to track their bike. This goes anywhere on their bike out of their way. A lot of riders are going to put it on their seat post, just as long as it doesn't bother them and it's visible. So either there on their handlebars. The big thing this year, just ask them to make sure that QR code is flat so they can scan those at the bike drop off or every location to make sure we keep track of their bike. The next tag on there is going to be their luggage tag. Every rider at Pelotonia that participates can bring one bag with them and drop it off at the luggage drop. Pelotonia will go ahead and transport that for them to their end, to whether they're going to end their ride, and they can pick it up there. A lot of great information there as well. The Q code, the rider information, lodging if they're staying overnight on Saturday, if they're staying on campus, or if they have their own lodging, as well as transportation. If they're taking the shuttle or providing their own. One of the questions we get a lot is, I signed up for my own transportation, but I want to ride the shuttle. That's fine. They don't have to do anything extra. They don't have to let Pelotonia know. All they have to do is go to the shuttle stop, and they will go ahead and make sure they get them transported back downtown to pick up their bike and their luggage. The last tag on that side is going to be their name tag. It is a trifold, so when you go ahead and pull that off, you're going to fold the arrow underneath first, and then fold their information back over top of the arrow. That way we have their information exposed on one side, and then we have their emergency contact exposed on the other side. We do have name badge holders at your table. Go ahead and put that in for them and ask them to wear it while they ride. A lot of riders will have pockets on the back of their jersey. They can go ahead and attach it back there where it's out of their way. It's just another form of identification for us if something were to happen, they were to have an accident along the route. The last piece of information on there is going to be their favorite, their goodie bag tag. It'll be on this side over here. It has their size on there and how many years they have ridden. We'll take this to the goodie bag tag, which is right next door to us. We'll point all these different spots out to you when you get down there on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But they'll take that over and they'll go ahead and get their goodie bag from the goodie bag volunteers, and then they're set for the weekend. Some of the big things, remember on this one, as well as the name tag, it has the year on there, how many years they've ridden. Remember, we cheer for all first-year riders and all 11th year riders, so please give them a big shout out. Also this year new, if somebody asks you, say, hey, I'm a third-year rider, why aren't you cheering for me? Go ahead and cheer for them. If you want to cheer for every rider that comes through, that's up to you. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to. Charles here is known as Cowbell Chuck because he's very good at cheering for all first-year riders, and he had 2 cowbells that he was ringing the whole time. He did an awesome job. That's pretty much it for the packet. Just remember, this is a lot of information. We have a few other things to go over really quick, but in the tent, you're going to have a lot of return volunteers. So if you are a first-year volunteer and you have a question, don't be afraid to ask the person at the table next to you. Charles and I have 3 tents, over 35 tables, and over 100 volunteers. We will be around, but we have a lot to do as well. So all our returning volunteers know this process like the back of their hand. The big change is going to be the iPads, but it should make it a lot easier. We will also have the binders at every table this year. We will have 30 binders. Just in case something goes wrong with the iPads, you can still use that binder to look up the information as well. 2 new changes as well we're going to go over. This information will be at your table, so don't worry about memorizing it. Pelotonia has an AI bot this year to answer questions for you. You can text 1 goal to 25525. Tanya is the name of the bot, and she will answer any questions that you have. That way you guys don't have to answer any questions. We just had a visitor. It could have went around, but hey, oh well. So this will be on your table for any questions they have. Just have them answer that. We also have a new challenge this year for riders. It's called the Ruler of Reynolds. Reynolds Road has a huge hill on it on the route. Some riders elect to go around it. Others will actually go up it. If they want to go up it and they want to get timed, for $25 they can buy a timing chip this year. The fastest rider will actually get money donated back to their profile at Pelotonia. There's also going to be some raffles for anybody that does buy that chip and doesn't win as well. All that information will be on your table as well. We'll also have the information in the email about the Q codes. If you have an iPhone and you want to download a reader to your own personal phone, you can do that as well. We'll have all the maps with the information. And the other thing we wanted to go over was parking for you. We don't have the parking information yet. Watch for a separate email from us. We'll have the details have a map on what garages to park in and a parking pass that you'll put in your windshield to make sure you have that to get out of the garage. Otherwise, you will have to pay. That's pretty much it. Charles, do you have anything you want to add?
I do not.
All right, well, thanks again for volunteering. We look forward to seeing you Pelotonia weekend, and one goal, let's end cancer.